Every zombies map that has ever existed has positives and negatives. Sometimes those negatives are so bad that it makes the map completely unplayable. Today we're going to be looking at the very worst aspect of every single map. Yes, this video might feel a little bit nitpicky, but that's the point. At the end of the day, it's all in good fun. The major flaw with Nocturne Toten is that the spawn rate on the early rounds is just way too slow. It takes way too long for me personally to actually work up the muster to get a game going on this map. Rework would have been better if it had some sort of wonder weapon. It doesn't have to be something crazy or OP, just give me something to make going through the rounds on this map slightly more bearable. Shinonuma came out one map before the Pack-a-Punch was invented. I genuinely think that if you throw a Pack-a-Punch machine somewhere on this map, I might even prefer it to Darice. Darice is a hard one for me because it added a lot and honestly doesn't have that many obvious flaws. The only thing I could think of is maybe it would have been a good time to start experimenting with new perks, but even that is a little bit of a stretch. If you didn't know, Mule Kick wasn't originally on Kino Toten. They added it later during the Resurrection DLC. How about instead of Mule Kick, we trade it for something better like Stamina? 5 would have been better if there was a slightly better training area somewhere. Maybe move a few of the desks in the spawn area or in the war room to make for a more player-friendly experience. Ascension has the exact opposite problem as 5. There's just too many areas on Ascension that make it so easy to run trains and make playing zombies the easiest thing in the world. Maybe add a few obstacles here or there in some of the more open areas because you're already very OP with a thunder gun and Gersh device. I just need a little bit more of a challenge. I genuinely think that Call of the Dead would have been one of the best maps of all time if the scavenger did infinite damage and if there was some sort of trap somewhere on the map. Honestly, this is probably the #1 thing I'd change out of everything in this video. Shangri-La combines the tight corridors of 5 with a fantastically OP wonder weapon, striking the perfect balance between maps like 5 and Ascension. There's one thing I'd change about it though, it'd be making it so it requires a little bit less team coordination to get the Pack-a-Punch going. There's honestly probably like 20 things I'd change about the map Moon, but if I had to pick one, it would be just put Speed Cola and Jug on the actual moon rather than at Area 51. Transit's another one of those maps that has a million things wrong with it. At the very top of my list is that there has to be an easier Pack-a-Punch system. Maybe if as soon as you place your turbine in the power room for the first time, you could immediately pick it back up, and from that point on, Pack-a-Punch stays open for the rest of the game. I remember when Die Rise came out, people hypothesized that there would be some way to stop the elevator to get PhD Flopper. If this was an actual Easter egg, it would accomplish two things. One, it would give the player more to do on this otherwise boring map, and 2, it would give the player one of the most valuable perks on a map so focused on verticality. If I didn't have to go around the map to collect all 5 gas canisters every single time I wanted to head to the Pack-a-Punch machine on Mob of the Dead, the world would be a better place. Buried would be better if the paralyzer wasn't so overpowered. There, I said it. On the map Origins, I would like to rework how the Crazy Place teleportation system works. I'm thinking of rather than needing to lug around the gramophone wherever you go, you only need to place it down once. From that point on, the teleportation system would work exactly the same as it does on Shadows of Evil. Shadows of Evil is flawless, with one exception. Simply remove the very last step of the Easter egg and you got yourself a perfect map. The Giant would have been better in my opinion if it built upon the original Darice just a little bit. Maybe an extra room or 2 or a couple extra side Easter eggs and you got yourself a great casual zombies map. For Horizon Drock, let's just remove the second whisk step. It's not fun to do once, let alone twice, so let's just get rid of it entirely. Zetsubo no Shima needs an entire rework of the plant system because literally nobody wants to remember to water a plant every single round. The Valkyrie drones on Gurad Krovi never quite felt at home, and plus they're just very annoying. Let's just replace them with the classic Hellhound. Revelations would probably be better if the Thunder Gun was never on the map. It's just entirely too easy with all the different wonder weapons. Zombies Chronicles was a lot of fun when it first came out, but I don't find myself coming back to play these versions of the maps very often, with the exception of Origins. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but if there was some sort of main Easter egg that spans it across all the Chronicles maps, this DLC would have been absolutely flawless. I'd rather the Tigers on the map 9 to have never existed. Voyage of Despair, along with a lot of the Black Ops 4 maps, struggles with the mini boss fight problem. There's just too many of them. Just remove the elementals and I think you got yourself a better zombies map. Let's make it so on Blood of the Dead, you don't need to rely on your shield to do every single last Easter egg step. I don't think I'll ever be able to understand what the obsession was with using your shield to do literally everything on this map. It's not a good gameplay mechanic. I'm someone who actually likes the idea of the round 150 classified Easter egg. 150 might be a little bit too high though, maybe 100 would have been a better number. The insane amount of crashes on Black Ops 4's launch definitely didn't help Classified's case, but the entire start of Black Ops 4 can pretty much be summarized by just having a better launch. Can we please make the characters on Dead of the Night just a little bit less repulsive? For Ancient Evil, I'd like to lower the health of the Giganese and reduce the skeleton spawn rate. Other than that, we're good to go. Maybe I'm on my own with this one, but on Alpha Omega, I'd much rather have an actual wonder weapon than Mark II variants. Tagger Toten, same thing. Give me new wonder weapons rather than worse versions of the classics. D Machine's fatal flaw is the Orlov cutscenes. They are, put plain and simply, just bad, and honestly make me feel like I'm playing a small indie game. I don't know what went wrong here, but I'd honestly rather them just not exist. My problem with Firebase Z can be summarized with one word: mimics. Let's completely rework the mimic Easter egg step, and while we're at it, let's just reduce the mimic spawn rate in general. I wish the Cerberus variants on Mauer or Toten were actually worth using. When you play Forsaken, you feel like you're playing Teleporter Simulator. I don't know, maybe reduce the amount of teleporters by designing a map that has a layout that actually works. For Vanguard, I actually made a video of 22 things wrong with Vanguard zombies, so check out this video here if you want to see.